On a winter night when even thunder feared to speak, a father stepped out of the void to stop heaven itself. Snow hung frozen in the air, lightning trembled, the world held its breath, and beneath the collapsing sky stood a mortal who did not kneel. He was only a son, but the man who came for him was a god of thunder. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. The end of a mortal's life may stretch to a century, yet few are truly granted the fullness of those 100 years. When Wongping reached 72, he felt the twilight of his life drawing near. A year later, though, his body remained sturdy and unbroken by illness. He could sense with unerring clarity that his final days were approaching. Winter arrived early that year, just as it had in the year Sun Tai departed. Snow sealed the mountain paths ahead of time, burying the roads beneath layers of silent white. The villagers could not venture beyond their homes. They could only remain within, passing the frozen months slowly beside their loved ones, as though clinging to the last embers of warmth in a dying world. The cold wind howled across the heavens, its voice like a dirge, as if it were gathering the lives fated to end and escorting them away one by one. The passing of breath and bone felt no different from the turning of reincarnation itself, silent, inevitable, eternal. This winter seemed colder than any before. The wind carried a chill that pierced marrow and spirit alike. Nightfall was merciless. If a humble cottage failed to kindle its fire, the darkness would invade through every crack and seam, and the wind would carve its cruelty into flesh. In a small house on the western edge of the village, a faint glow flickered behind a window lattice. The firelight cast a fragile warmth into the night. Yet against the boundless frozen darkness, it seemed pitifully small, like a lone star struggling against an endless void. The wind roared without pause, spiraling into miniature vortices that lifted snow into the air in violent swirls. Livestock huddled close together, trembling as they resisted the biting cold. The sky was a suffocating black, broken only by the ceaseless fall of snow. To gaze upon it too long was to feel one's soul grow lost and unanchored. Inside the cottage, Wongping sat quietly in a wooden chair. A carving knife rested in his steady hand as he shaped the wood stroke by deliberate stroke. Each cut seemed to carve not merely timber, but memory, regret, and longing at the dusk of his life. He was carving his father once more. But this time his father's likeness bore deeper lines, heavier years. Of late, Wongping often dreamed of his childhood. He remembered the bitter bowls of medicine he once drank. Back then, their taste had seemed unbearable. Now, in memory, that bitterness carried a trace of sweetness. It was not the flavor that had changed, but the warmth that accompanied it. Qingyi sat beside him, watching in silence. In her gentle gaze lingered a quiet sorrow she did not voice. Outside, the wind roared again and again, as though it longed to burst through the door and seize the life that was nearing its end. Softly, Wongping said, "When I am gone, burn these statues." His eyes lingered on the unfinished carving in his hands. It was the last one. He would complete it before he left this world. Against one wall stood a vast wooden shelf. Upon it rested more than 100 statues, each one carved in the image of Wang Lin. Some of the statues bore a small child at their side. The child's face shone with a satisfied smile as he clutched his father's hand, brimming with attachment and trust. Wongping lowered his gaze to the figure in his hands and murmured almost to himself, "Father, I forgave you long ago." On that dark winter night, a brilliant bolt of thunder tore through the void and descended upon the planet. The planet's atmospheric barrier shattered instantly beneath its might, and the thunderclap resounded across the entirety of planet Ran Yun. In that single moment, every snowflake trembled, then hung suspended in mid-air. Even the raging wind collapsed into stillness. Across planet Ran Yun, cultivators felt the overwhelming aura descend. The thunder's might exploded within their ears, shaking their souls. Within the Sun family estate, the ancestor Sun Shi had secluded himself in closed-door cultivation for many years. Yet at this instant his eyes snapped open, blazing with light. In a flash he appeared in the sky, his gaze lifting upward. His expression changed drastically. What terrifying celestial spiritual energy! And thunder! He inhaled sharply, pupils contracting. Behind him, 8 late-stage soul transformation cultivators emerged one after another. Sun Qiming stepped forward and spoke gravely. Ancestor, the arrival does not seem benevolent. The Ran and Zhao families likewise dispatched their cultivators, though their strength paled in comparison. Most of their true experts had long since departed this world. In vast water city, within the courtyard of the Wang residence, Wang Lin set down his wine jug and slowly raised his head. His eyes were colorless, clouded, as though he were nothing more than a frail old man, weathered by time. He cast but a single glance toward the heavens before lowering his head again, taking a quiet drink. A colossal beast wreathed in lightning traversed the skies. Twin streams of heated breath poured from its nostrils, lending it an incomparably savage presence. Upon its back sat a middle-aged man. He was the Thunder Taoist of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Lightning flickered within his eyes as he gazed coldly upon the earth below. His divine sense expanded without restraint, sweeping across the entire planet, vast water city included. Yet for reasons unknown, when his divine sense passed over Wang Lin, it did not linger for even the briefest moment. As that divine sense swept across the world, every cultivator trembled. The beasts of mountain and forest likewise quaked as though standing before heaven's judgment. Even mortals felt it, though they didn't understand why. A sudden chill pierced their minds, followed by a violent shock. One after another they collapsed unconscious. For a fleeting instant, the entire planet fell into an unnatural silence, one it had never known before. Soon after, the Thunder Taoist withdrew his divine sense, frowning. He had searched the entire world and found no one who matched the requirements. As his divine sense retreated, the snow resumed its descent. The wind began to move once more. It has been too long. Perhaps he has already departed, the Thunder Taoist muttered. That person is fortunate indeed. He turned to leave, but suddenly his eyes narrowed. Like a bolt of lightning, his divine sense shot downward and locked onto a small mountain village. Within the cottage, Qingyi's face turned deathly pale. Her body trembled violently as the spiritual energy within her collapsed. It took great effort for her to regain even partial control. Wongping looked up in alarm. "Qingyi, what is it?" Before she could answer, her expression changed again. She coughed up a mouthful of blood. A vast and terrifying divine sense tore through snow and wind alike, descending directly upon their home. The earth trembled beneath its weight. The thick blanket of snow covering the ground was violently shaken skyward. Outside, the wind and snow that had only just resumed collapsed once more. It was as though Wongping's residence had been severed from the world. Beyond it, snow fell and wind blew, but within its perimeter, all was frozen in absolute stillness, as though heaven itself had crushed the surrounding storm. Qingyi's newly formed origin soul struggled desperately, releasing spiritual energy. With immense effort, she managed a single step forward, placing herself before Wongping. Though her appearance was aged, her eyes burned with stubborn defiance. "Interesting. You did not lose consciousness." The cold voice echoed through the room. The door burst open. A middle-aged man stepped inside. The instant he entered, Qingyi's face drained of all color. From him emanated an aura beyond comprehension, vast and crushing, like the will of heaven itself. Before such power, she felt like an ant beneath a boundless sky. With but a thought, he could extinguish countless lives like hers, leaving neither grave nor reincarnation behind. Lightning coiled around his body, illuminating him like a celestial of thunder descended from myth. Though his steps seemed casual, the entire room crackled as he advanced. Lightning crawled along the walls, transforming the humble cottage into a cage of thunder. From outside, one would see the house encased in lightning. High above, the thunder beast lay idly in the sky, its gaze filled with disdain, as though nothing in existence was worthy of its attention. It was after all a thunder beast, the sacred beast of the ancient thunder celestial realm. Though its bloodline was impure, far removed from its ancestors, Pride flowed within its bones. Wongping gently set down his carving and stepped beside Qing Yi. He looked at the middle-aged man and asked calmly, "Who are you?" In that moment, Wongping bore no resemblance to a mortal. The calm in his eyes was not feigned, it was absolute. He stood before Qing Yi like a pillar holding up heaven and earth. 19 years of ordinary life, 8 years wandering the world, more than 30 years reigning as supreme among mortals. All of it had forged within him a heart that did not fear the heavens. If the sky collapsed, he would not tremble. How then could he fear a mere cultivator? Qing Yi stared at him. In that instant, his figure engraved itself forever upon her soul. The tenderness in her eyes deepened. She quietly dispersed her cultivation. She stood beside her husband. Together they faced the storm. The middle-aged man studied Wongping with a peculiar gleam in his eyes. His gaze seemed capable of seeing through flesh and bone into the marrow of the soul. The reason his divine sense had descended here was simple. Every mortal on the planet had fallen unconscious when it swept past. Every mortal except this one. Not only had Wongping remained awake, he appeared entirely unaware that the divine sense had ever touched him. That anomaly had piqued his interest. Slowly he spoke. "Interesting. No wonder you did not faint. So that is the reason." At that same instant, far away in vast Water City, Wang Lin, who had been seated with wine in hand, suddenly rose to his feet. The jug shattered within his grasp. The wine within disintegrated into nothingness. When he lifted his head, the colorless eyes that had remained dull for 70 years were filled with a coldness never before seen. It surpassed even the fury he once revealed in the restaurant. The difference was as vast as heaven and earth, and it could not be compared. Thunder Taoist's gaze settled upon Wongping. A trace of intrigue flickered in his eyes as he spoke slowly. "So, you are not human after all." Before his sentence could finish, Wongping's body trembled violently. In that very instant, the shadow behind him twisted. From within that darkness, the celestial guard puppet burst forth. The moment it appeared, it threw a punch. The fist tore through the air with such force that a deafening sonic boom erupted, momentarily drowning even the thunder's roar. It shot forward like a meteor straight toward Thunder Taoist. Thunder Taoist's eyes narrowed. He had long sensed the presence of something concealed within Wongping's shadow. The puppet had been hidden with extraordinary care, but it had not escaped him entirely. Thus he was not surprised. His hand formed a seal. Lightning surged into his palm, brilliant and violent, and he struck forward to meet the incoming blow. The celestial guard's fist crashed directly into the lightning. Yet the puppet was utterly indifferent to it. The lightning split apart, as though it had struck an immovable mountain. The puppet's punch landed squarely upon Thunder Taoist's palm. A destructive force exploded from that single strike. It surged into Thunder Taoist's body like a tempest unleashed, rumbling through his meridians with a terrifying roar. A muffled boom echoed within the shattered remains of the cottage as Thunder Taoist staggered backward several steps. His hand went numb, and the lightning around it dispersed, but only briefly. In the blink of an eye, sensation returned and thunder gathered once more. A strange gleam ignited in his eyes. "Top-grade puppet." He laughed. The celestial guard retreated 2 steps. Lightning writhed across its body like serpents of light, yet its eyes remained cold and mechanical, devoid of fear. Thunder Taoist took a step forward. The instant his foot descended, all lightning surrounding the house converged beneath it. Thunder roared downward as he stomped mercilessly upon the earth. In that moment, the world seemed to collapse. The house disintegrated into nothingness, erased as though it had never existed. Lightning erupted outward in every direction, wild and unrestrained. At the center stood Wongping. The celestial guard's eyes turned even colder as it threw another punch. But the lightning was too vast, too overwhelming. Its single form could not shield every direction at once. The arcs of destruction were about to engulf Wongping. Qing Yi did not scream. Her expression remained calm. She grasped Wongping's hand and looked at him with infinite tenderness. As for Wongping, He did not move. He did not panic. Even if Mount Tai were to collapse before him, he would not flinch, because he knew his father would come. In Wongping's heart, his father was the strongest existence beneath the stars. None could stand against him. His composure drew Thunder Taoist's attention. The Taoist examined him more carefully and suddenly felt a faint shock. It seemed he had glimpsed something unusual. Lightning ripples shot toward Wongping like living dragons. But just as they were about to strike, an ancient voice echoed between heaven and earth. The voice was impossibly old. When it descended, every bolt of lightning froze mid-motion. The blue arcs, writhing like serpents, stiffened as though time itself had halted. Some strands hovered mere inches from Wang Ping's body, yet they could no longer advance. The voice spoke only one word: stop. A vortex tore open in the void. From within it, a white-haired old man stepped out slowly. He walked upon empty air and appeared before Wang Ping. With a casual motion, he extended a finger toward the frozen lightning. Cracks spread instantly through the immobilized arcs. With a series of sharp, crackling sounds, the lightning shattered and collapsed into nothing. The sudden reversal was so overwhelming that Thunder Taoist gasped. He retreated 2 steps, eyes filled with vigilance. He could not see through this old man's cultivation. To his eyes, the man stood plainly before him. But to his divine sense, there was nothing, as though the man did not exist at all. Wang Ping looked at the figure before him and softly called out, "Dad." Within that single word lay decades of longing. The old man was Wang Lin. The murkiness that had clouded his eyes for 70 years was gone. In its place burned a coldness unseen for ages. He spoke calmly, "Messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple." The celestial guard flashed to his side in an instant, standing rigidly, its gaze locked upon Thunder Taoist. Thunder Taoist's expression grew solemn. "May I ask who you are, Senior?" Wang Lin's gaze swept across the surroundings. Such devastation, and yet the villagers had not stirred. Clearly they had been rendered unconscious by the earlier divine sense. He waved his sleeve. A gentle radiance enveloped Wang Ping and Qing Yi. With a single step, Wang Lin vanished, taking them with him. The celestial guard followed closely. Thunder Taoist's face darkened. He snorted coldly and disappeared as well. They reappeared above a vast, desolate plain in the western reaches of planet Ran Yun. Thunder flashed 1,000 feet ahead. Thunder Taoist materialized, lightning coiling around him. The heavens darkened. Clouds churned violently. Bolts split the sky with earth-shaking force. His voice rang out cold and domineering. "I care not who you are. Leave behind the puppet, and I shall spare the 3 of you." Wang Lin's gaze grew even colder. "Even if you spared me, I would not spare you. If I had arrived 1 step later, my son would have died by your hand. You have touched my bottom line. I do not care who you are. Today you die." The killing intent in his voice was absolute. The celestial guard stepped forward, golden light erupting from its body. It rushed ahead like a golden war god and hurled a punch. Thunder Taoist slapped his storage bag. A thunder net appeared in his hand. With a seal, he cast it forth. The net expanded instantly, vast enough to cover heaven and earth, before shrinking rapidly toward the puppet. Countless runes flashed upon it. The celestial guard's punch struck, but could not shatter it. "This old man is a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple," Thunder Taoist declared coldly. "Even with that puppet, you cannot kill me." Without even glancing at the net, he formed another seal and unleashed a bolt of lightning toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin did not dodge. As the lightning neared, he opened his mouth. Before Thunder Taoist's incredulous gaze, he devoured it. Lightning crackled across Wang Lin's body. "This trivial lightning is not enough," he said calmly. His right hand rose. Origin soul power surged toward it. A sphere of thunder appeared in his palm. Though no larger than a fist, it caused every dark cloud overhead to convulse. Lightning across the heavens went berserk, drawn irresistibly toward that sphere. To Thunder Taoist's horror, bolts fell like torrential rain into Wang Lin's hand. "This," Wang Lin said evenly, "is true thunder." He waved his hand. The thunder sphere roared forth. Thunder Taoist retreated instantly. He produced a black metal rod 3 feet long, etched with countless runes and streaked with dark red veins. As the thunder sphere descended, he drove the rod into the earth and roared. Thunder of heaven and earth gather. The sphere veered toward the rod, lightning converging upon it. Runes flared, absorbing the incoming force. But the thunder was too powerful. Cracks appeared along the rod. The dark red veins spread like blood through shattered bone, desperately holding it together. With a final catastrophic roar, the rod exploded. Thunder detonated outward. Planet Ranyun trembled. Mountains collapsed. The earth shook violently. At the epicenter stood Thunder Taoist. He staggered back 10 steps, face pale. "You are Shumu, the one who impersonated a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. What is your true cultivation level?" The lightning binding the celestial guard dissipated. The puppet walked free. Wang Lin looked at him calmly. "My cultivation level." He paused. Celestial spiritual energy erupted from his body. Foundation establishment. Core formation. Nascent soul. Soul formation. Late-stage soul transformation. It did not stop. Early ascendant. Mid-ascendant. His aura continued to rise. Thunder Taoist's expression darkened. The surge did not cease. Though his cultivation stabilized at mid-ascendant, Wang Lin's aura intensified further. His domain unfolded. It expanded outward, endlessly surpassing ordinary limits. Late ascendant, still it grew. A vast painting of mountains and rivers appeared across the sky, as though heaven itself had become canvas and earth the ink. From within the painting flowed an underworld river. It trembled, then surged into Wang Lin through the crown of his head. His domain exploded upward. Peak late-stage ascendant, only then did it halt. Thunder Taoist exhaled slowly, tension easing slightly. He sneered, though unease lingered in his heart. "Such meager cultivation, and you dare impersonate the Thunder Celestial Temple?" Yet doubt gnawed at him. The Thunder Sphere. The inability of his divine sense to perceive Wang Lin earlier. It was as though mist veiled this man, like gazing upon the moon, reflected in water. Wang Lin lifted his head. He had not released everything. Only the life and death domain had manifested. Thunder might remained. Karma remained. The reason Thunder Taoist could not see through him was simple. Karma. After his domain evolved, only a true second-step cultivator could fully perceive it. The yin-yang stage was but a bridge between realms. Wongping watched his father. As Wang Lin's cultivation rose, a subtle tremor stirred within Wang Ping's own body. He felt it clearly deep within his soul. And in that moment, his suspicions were confirmed. Wang Ping's heart grew heavier, a bitterness spreading quietly through his chest. Beside him, Qing Yi tightened her hold on his hand. Her eyes shimmered with unwavering tenderness as she whispered, "Do not worry. No matter what you are, I will walk beside you." Wang Ping lowered his gaze in silence. After a long moment, he nodded. Thunder Taoist's expression darkened as he stared at Wang Lin. "This old man will show you," he said coldly, "what a true messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple looks like." He raised a hand toward the heavens and roared, "Celestial Thunder Beast." Thunder answered his call. Lightning erupted from every direction, filling the sky until it seemed no inch of it remained untouched. The storm condensed frantically, gathering above him into an enormous sphere of crackling thunder. A rumble resounded across planet Ranyun, deep, ancient, majestic. It shook hearts and souls alike. The cultivators who had earlier struggled beneath Thunder Taoist's divine sense all heard that thunderous proclamation. Their spiritual energy spiraled out of control. Some nearly lost mastery over their own cultivation. The sphere of lightning trembled violently, then shrank. Within moments, it condensed into a majestic, extraordinary thunder beast. Its form blazed with radiant lightning. 2 streams of thunder hissed from its nostrils. Its vast eyes were filled with unshakable pride, as though it were the noblest creature in existence. Yet, the instant its gaze fell upon Wang Lin, it hesitated. A flicker of confusion crossed its eyes. Thunder Taoist spoke calmly, his voice heavy with authority. "It is by the Thunder Beast that one is named Messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. To impersonate such a title, your entire lineage deserves extermination." Wang Lin merely glanced at the beast. "It cannot be called a true Thunder Beast," he said evenly without a thunder horn. He struck his storage bag. The war chariot flew out, then shattered into torrents of thunder. A destructive aura capable of rending heaven and earth began to spread. From within the storm, a colossal beast slowly stepped forth. It resembled a killin, yet it was not one. Upon its head gleamed a silver horn, crackling with ancient lightning. The moment it appeared, Thunder Taoist's face changed completely. This was the greatest shock he had experienced since arriving on planet Ranyun. He stared at the beast, speechless. Above him, the Thunder Beast of the Celestial Temple erupted in lightning, hooves stamping violently as it bristled with aggression. Wang Lin's Thunder Beast lifted its head and roared toward the heavens. The sky responded. Thunder boomed. Lightning descended, not as divine punishment, but as submission to its call. The temple's Thunder Beast bellowed in answer, thunder bursting from its nostrils as if it could no longer endure the pressure. When Thunder Beasts met, there was only one outcome. Unless restrained by their masters, they would battle to the death. Wang Lin's Thunder Beast's eyes turned icy. A streak of lightning formed beneath its feet. Without hesitation, it charged. The temple's beast faltered for the briefest instant. Though its bloodline was impure, it could clearly sense the terrifying dominance within the silver-horned creature's thunder. Yet pride ran deep in its bones. It roared defiantly and rushed forward. Thunder shattered the heavens as the two beasts collided. The earth trembled. The sky dimmed. It was as though the world itself feared their clash. A silver-horned thunder beast. Thunder Taoist's voice trembled as his eyes locked upon the gleaming horn. A silver-horned thunder beast. Even within the Thunder Celestial Temple, such beasts were exceedingly rare. Only the administrative heaven-ranked messengers possessed them. If he could obtain it, his status would rise immeasurably. Greed flickered in his eyes. He looked back at Wang Lin. No more hesitation. His hands formed seals. They slammed together, then separated. A brilliant flash erupted. A silver lightning sword materialized between his palms. Lightning coiled along its blade. He pointed at the celestial guard. The sword shot forth. "As long as I kill him," Thunder Taoist thought coldly, "this ownerless silver-horned thunder beast will belong to me." He surged forward, hands spreading wide. Thunder Celestial Realm Retribution. A strand of purple lightning condensed in his palm, forming a crackling net. It roared as it flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained calm, but his pupils shrank slightly. This Thunder Taoist truly deserved the title of illusory yin cultivator. His celestial spiritual energy was immense, and his mastery of thunder was astonishing. And his domain, Wang Lin thought coldly, it must also be thunder-related. His hand reached into his storage bag. The golden celestial brush appeared. He lifted it into the air. With a swift motion, he drew a symbol. Then another stroke. And another. 7 strokes in total. 7 was his limit. Each stroke required splitting off a portion of his origin soul. 7 strokes, 7 divisions. After devouring the ancient thunder dragon, his origin soul had transformed. Now, as those 7 fragments entered the symbol, it no longer radiated golden light. It shone white. White thunder. It did not merely carry celestial pressure. It carried the might of heavenly thunder itself. The moment the symbol was completed, lightning crackled within it. An unimaginable destructive force erupted outward like a cataclysmic storm. This was true heavenly thunder, not a mere spell. When it appeared, even the battling thunder beasts halted mid-fight and turned to look. They felt it instinctively, a trace of ancient heavenly thunder. This power came from the ancient thunder dragon, once the sovereign of heavenly lightning. After devouring it, Wang Lin had inherited that authority. It could be said, the thunder within Wang Lin stood above all thunder in existence. If Thunder Taoist used other spells, perhaps he would stand a chance. But to challenge Wang Lin with thunder, impossible, unless he had truly stepped into the second step. In thunder, Wang Lin was absolute, a living thunder dragon. The brush tapped the symbol gently. It flew forward. Thunder Taoist's expression grew grim. He gritted his teeth and thrust his purple lightning net forward to meet it. Boom! The symbol exploded. 7 fragments of origin soul roared forth, imprinting directly upon Thunder Taoist's body. The purple lightning disintegrated instantly. Thunder Taoist coughed up a mouthful of blood and retreated rapidly. Boom! 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 Each explosion was a fragment detonating within him. Blood sprayed again and again as he was forced back 1,000 feet. When the final fragment finished erupting, he stood, pale eyes filled with monstrous disbelief. For the first time in his life, he had been defeated in thunder. A strange confusion gripped him. In that moment, he almost felt as though he were the imposter. And this Shu Mu, the true messenger of the Thunder Celestial Realm. His eyes darkened. Wang Lin sighed inwardly, as expected of an illusory yin cultivator. Despite the blow, his foundation remained intact. His celestial spiritual energy was vast and mixed faintly with world origin energy. When the thunder entered his body, that origin energy continuously dissolved it. "You are formidable, Thunder Taoist," admitted grimly. "You hid on planet Ran Yun to comprehend your domain. Given another 100 years, you might surpass me. If your cultivation equaled mine, I would surely die today. But unfortunately, you remain trapped within the first step." His wounds visibly healed. Yet Wang Lin noticed the origin energy within him had diminished slightly. Thunder Taoist's voice deepened. "One final time. Hand over the silver-horned thunder beast and the puppet, and I will let you live. Otherwise today you die. The spell I used was ordinary. If I unleash a true origin energy spell of the second step, you cannot withstand it." Wang Lin's expression did not change. He reached into his storage bag. A massive sword appeared in his grasp. "Then attack," he said calmly. "Let me witness an illusory yin cultivator's origin energy spell." Han family ancestor, Xianxia, Thunder Taoist, all shared one common element, origin energy. It was clear. Origin energy was the key to the second step. This battle marked Wang Lin's first true confrontation against an illusory yin cultivator. The terrifying regenerative power of such cultivators weighed heavily upon his heart. Thunder Taoist's gaze shifted past Wang Lin to Wongping and Qing Yi. A strange light flickered in his eyes. "You abandoned comprehension of your domain. For a dying mortal. This has greatly puzzled this old man." Wang Lin suddenly lifted his head. His eyes were bloodshot. He raised the sword. "Shut up. That's all for today's content. See you in the next part. Support me by becoming a member. It will give me more motivation. Thank you so much."